Studnik Aquatics here. I have cigars I need to put on a shelf, and I'm kind of running out of room here. But I got to thinking about this, and the problem is not that I have too many cigars. The problem is that I'm using 90-degree shelf brackets. I thought about this when I built it, but I thought, well, it's easiest just to do it this way for now, and they tend to be in the way so that you can't. And then I have you can't really put the boxes right next to each other. And also I have to put little blocks of wood behind them. So I'm thinking about taking this bottom shelf out here and changing this. It's easiest to start on the bottom, work your way up, and changing the shelf bracket so that it's at an angle. So that, and I do have a lip to hold them, so that I can put the boxes at an angle like you see in commercial walk-in humidors. The problem with this, and one of the reasons I didn't do this before, is that you can't transition easily from this to this if this is at an angle. So I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work, because once I put this at an angle, it's going to create a dead spot back here. And the way they avoid this in commercial humidors is they box this in here, and this is not part of the humidor. It's boxed here, and then they put their shelves in at an angle going up on both sides. They end up looking like they're built in. They're technically not built in. They're just boxed in on them corners, and that way they don't have to deal with the odd angle that, because if you ran this at an angle and you ran this one at an angle, even if you make them meet, you can't put a box of cigars there. So you end up losing all this space on the corner. Same way with this corner over here, and I like to be able to put these trays in here. So I thought I would try it on this bottom one first and see if I could see how that works by putting this at an angle, and just see if that's gonna, I would about have to do it to two of them though, to make sure that these aren't in the way for the next one. So I don't know. I'm gonna play with this a little bit and see how this comes out, and then I will add more to this as I go. Okay, I have one of the shelves off now down in my shop, and this is the shelf bracket that I make. I actually make these, and of course this is 90. So the first I'm going to do is take this off, and I'm going to change this angle from here the other direction, so that way I can put it at a 45 rather than 90 and make it slope. So I'll add a little more to this in a little bit. Here's the shelf bracket that's been taken off. I have all of them off now, and here's one that's been taken apart. So if you lay this the same way, this one lays like that, but now this one, instead of sitting like this, is going to sit at a 45 like that. So I need to cut this off at a 45, and then I will cut this one down to brace it across. Okay, the shelf bracket angle has changed from 90 to 45. So now all I need to do is do this to the other one, and then I'm not going to put one back in the middle because they don't weigh much, the boards aren't going to warp or anything, and that gives me more room for the lids to open. And all I need to do now is screw this to the shelf, make some pilot holes here, take it upstairs, level it, and screw it to the wall. Now I have both shelf brackets on. I changed it from a 90 to a 45. So I'm going to go up and I'll screw one of these in right here, and then I'll level it across to the other one to do the top ones, and then get the other two shelves done, and I think this is going to work out well. I have all of the shelves changed now, and it really looks good. The transition from this to that looks better than I thought it would, and all I did was line these shelves up, you know, with the bottom of those, so that way it kind of flows. And that moves them three shelves in there, and I had a whole bunch of boxes on the floor, and now I have none, so it did make a lot more room, and I really like the presentation. It looks better. I did leave three shelf brackets on the bundle rack because this wood is a little heavy, so I want to make sure that doesn't warp. These three here, I took the middle one out. I'll keep an eye on it, but I do like the presentation better. I think it looks a lot better than it did before, and it created quite a bit more room. So this is Studnik Aquatics, and as always, keep smoking cigars.